You know that a movie is going to do well when the title itself is problematic? I was on the Archcast and I just wasn't allowed to say the title. It made Arch sweat bullets, which is funny because he's Norwegian. Like, he's got no connection to the United States. I'm Romanian, got no connection to the United States, but the Americans, they casted this powerful magic, this powerful word that human beings cannot utter. It's called the power word fired, by the way. I mean, seriously, can you imagine? Like you're going to the cinema and you're like, 2 tickets. For which movie? The magical, the American Society of Magical, say it, white boy, say it, you know? Like, I would rather just not go to it. So where have you been today? Oh, I just saw the American Society of Magical Negroes. You know, like, it's something you don't want to be audited on your credit card as well. I know that a lot of progressive Americans love to live in the past. They love to pretend that society hasn't progressed. But in 2024, yeah, like, most people do not say this word because everything from the mainstream media, the teacher, the parents, and other people getting fired have seen it. So, like, yeah, we're not saying I know you want us to. No, we're not. All jokes aside, though, I think people just don't want to buy hatred. The simple as. It's not that the movie isn't a comedy. It's not that the fact that people don't understand what a joke is. But there is a difference between making jokes like South Park or like The Simpsons, which makes jokes about everyone, and something that you can tell without the shadow of a doubt that it is mean-spirited. And the thing is, like a lot of people that make woke entertainment, they manage to get it in a way where it's kind of questionable, if it's mean-spirited or not. Like, for instance, that Battlefield game that placed the woman on the box with the prosthetic arm in World War II. Right? You can't really tell, is it mean-spirited because the person genuinely doesn't like white men, so they wanted to put literally anything else on the box? Or is it that, well, they just thought it would look cool? It's kind of difficult to tell, but like in this particular trailer, when I saw it, it was so obvious that the director had hatred. And that just doesn't sell, unfortunately. Like, there's a lot of people that say, well, hatred sells. No, it doesn't. It absolutely does, especially if you package it like this. And basically, like it was in the trailer. The question is like, what is the worst animal on Earth? And the answer was the white man, of course. It's like, it's not just like mean-spirited, but it goes to a place that, like I go in many forums where races gather. I go to 4chan and other places, and even the worst racists aren't really like that. There's a difference between slurs. Like, when I used to play on Xbox and Skullfuck47 wanted to fuck my mom, I knew that deep inside, he generally didn't want to fuck my mom. It was just an insult. But if my mother was there, he wouldn't want to fuck her. Like Amelia, the VTuber. Amelia Watson. She wants to ground pound your mom as well. But, like, I got a feeling that if your mother was there, Amelia wouldn't do it. But these individuals that made this movie, they unironically have hatred in their hearts. There's no way that you can look around it. So, no one went to see it. It only made 1,300,000 on opening weekend. This is beyond abysmal. The concept of them not recovering their losses is a joke. Like no, this is financial ruination. And it's interesting because I heard some critics say, oh, well, it's because, white people don't want to have the conversation. So did black people didn't go to see it as well? Like if all the black people would have went to see it, it would have been a success. Nobody went to see this. Not even the minorities went to see this. Like, this just doesn't resonate with anybody. The thing is, these directors and these storytellers, especially when they're talking about social justice stories, they unironically believe that they're connected to the people, that they know what the people want. And they are so sure of it that even when reality proves them wrong, they do not backtrack and say, hold on, maybe I made a mistake. maybe I was to blame. No, they are so sure in their arrogance that they will say it's the people that are wrong. Like, everything was fine. This movie was perfect. It's just that the people don't know what masterpiece we've made. It's so sad as well, you know, because this could have been a good movie. Like, the premise wasn't that bad. It had a good premise. It could have been a great comedy. But no, instead, apparently nobody liked it. And you know, they're going to try and blame, oh, well, there was other things that were released, like Arthur the King, right? So, like, this... No, just stop. Just stop, no. So Arthur the King apparently made 7.6 million on opening weekend. 7 times more. And not to mention, I bet, like, they also needed a lot of special effects in order to make this happen, so that also cost money. They're lucky that they didn't get any famous actors, because, like, those are the most expensive. Or maybe they did, and I just don't know them, because outside of VTubers, I don't know many entertainers. So even on Rotten Tomatoes, apparently, they got critic score of 30%. So, like, the critics themselves. Then again, you know, like, I shouldn't actually care about what the critics think, because the critics will think whatever they're being paid. So maybe this movie with 1.5 million on opening weekend, they couldn't afford to pay the critics, so there's also that. Overwhelmingly disliked. Interestingly, the film director had previously declared that he wasn't concerned about audiences not understanding the message he's trying to push. I know, the thing is, like, people genuinely understand the message. Like, people are 100% aware of the message. They just find it vile, repugnant, and they don't want to support it financially. But no, I understand the message that he's trying to prove. No, I happen to disagree with it. But as for understanding it, yeah, it's not a very complicated message. When specifically asked whether he was worried that people unfamiliar with the magical Negro trope would not understand the film message, he said not particularly, because it's one of those things that, like, even if you don't know the term, you know it. No, I do understand the message. I do understand the magical Negro trope. You know what's interesting, though? Like, the magical Negro trope wasn't mean-spirited. Like, the perfect example of the magical Negro trope, just so you can understand how beloved it is, it's Morgan Freeman in the role of God, right? So when you look at, what was it called? Bruce Almighty, yeah? The one with Jim Carrey. Like, Jim Carrey is upset that God doesn't care about him, so you have God appearing, and God is Morgan Freeman, and he does magic, like a magical... what this movie is making fun of. Do you guys dislike Morgan Freeman in the movie? No, like, they were always portrayed, like these characters that have magical powers were always portrayed as benevolent, kind, understanding, extremely wise. And the reason was, like, when you have a society that actually has racism and is fueled by hatred, like, this was, hey, you know, like, stop hating on other people, right? And you're using media in a way of telling stories so that people open up and they're less prejudiced. This is what the whole thing was. And the person that made this film didn't understand that. And they thought, oh no, like, clearly Bruce Almighty is a racist film, right? Like, how dare they cast a black person in the role of God? It's obviously done to get the audience to dislike it. Right. So, no, the message is something that I understand. I think that the person who made the movie didn't understand the message. That's the actual problem. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.